You think you're tired because of what you do? But the real exhaustion comes from what you avoid. We spend our lives dodging the hard things, and then wonder why the easy things feel heavy. That quiet weight you carry? It's the cost of battles you've never finished, the ones that live in your own mind. This is the pattern most people never see, and the silent reason why comfort slowly consumes them. Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins tears that pattern wide open. It shows why the limits you feel aren't physical, they're negotiated. I'm breaking it down for you, right here on Beyond the Books. Can't Hurt Me, David Goggins. Pain is a messenger, not an enemy, not a punishment. A messenger. Most of us spend our lives running from it, building walls against anything that feels uncomfortable. But here's the first hidden truth. Every wall you build to keep pain out also keeps growth out. This is the system Can't Hurt Me exposes. Not by shouting cliches about toughness, but by revealing the deeper mechanics of the human mind. How it can either trap you or free you. The core idea is brutally simple. Your mind is the governor of your potential, like a mechanical governor on an engine. It limits your speed long before the machine reaches its real capacity. In life, this governor takes the form of fear, self-doubt, the soft voice that whispers, "Stop. This is enough. You can't go further." Most people confuse that voice for truth. They stop the moment the governor engages, long before their real limits. Picture it. You go for a run. At mile 2, your lungs burn, your legs ache, your brain screams, "We're done. We can't go further." That is the governor. It's not trying to help you grow. It's trying to keep you safe. And here's the hidden system most people never see. That first wave of exhaustion, it's often just 40% of your true capacity. Goggins calls this the 40% rule. When you feel like you've hit the wall, you've really only tapped a fraction of what's available. Why does the mind do this? Because its first priority is survival, not transformation. Pain once meant danger. Danger meant death. So the brain evolved an early warning system. It lies to you. It tells you to quit, long before quitting is necessary. So here's the real question. If the governor is in your mind, how do you unlock the rest of your capacity? Most people assume the answer is talent, or genetics, or some rare trait called mental toughness. But that's a misunderstanding. The system Goggins reveals isn't about being born tough. It's about conditioning toughness on purpose. Think of it like progressive overload in the gym. You don't walk in and lift the heaviest weight on day 1. You'll fail, maybe even get hurt. Instead, you start with what you can just barely handle. You push to the edge of discomfort. You recover. You repeat. And over time, the threshold expands. The same is true for the mind. Goggins's life is the living proof of this philosophy. As a child, he endured abuse, poverty, racism that left deep emotional scars. Every day, his mental governor was reinforced by fear and self-loathing. He grew overweight, isolated, and trapped in avoidance. And then came the moment of truth. He realized that running from pain was running from life itself. So he turned to face it, deliberately. One example stands out. When he decided he wanted to become a Navy SEAL, he weighed over 300 pounds. The weight limit for consideration was 191. He had 3 months. Any normal person would call that impossible. Their governor would shut them down before the first step. But Goggins broke the mission into micro-challenges. Wake up earlier than ever. Study like his future depended on it. push his body into suffering every single day. Each act of chosen discomfort was a message to the governor. You're not in charge anymore. Here's what most people never realize. When you push past the governor, it doesn't just expand your physical limits. It rewires your identity. Every victory over that voice of limitation tells your nervous system a new story. I don't break here. I grow here. And that story compounds. Think of your identity like a feedback loop. Your actions create evidence. That evidence builds belief. Belief guides the next action. Most people live in a negative loop. Avoid discomfort. Collect evidence of weakness. Strengthen the governor's control. Goggins flips the loop. Seek discomfort. Collect evidence of resilience. Expand the governor's limits. This is the hidden system behind Can't Hurt Me. But here's the nuance most people miss. Pain alone doesn't create growth. Random suffering, endless grinding, it leaves you broken or bitter. What transforms pain into power is reflection. Goggins called his process the accountability mirror. Every day, he faced the raw truth of who he was. No excuses, no filters. He confronted himself with brutal honesty. You are weak here. You are lying to yourself here. This is where you must go next. That is more than motivation. It is identity revision in real time. Zoom out, and the pattern of transformation becomes clear. 1. Face pain consciously. Step into discomfort with intention. 2. Challenge the governor. Push past the first signal to quit. 3. Collect evidence of strength. Notice that you survived. 4. Reinforce identity. Reflect and reprogram belief. 5. Repeat at a higher level. Expand your threshold. This is how you become unbreakable. And when you apply this outside of fitness or military training, the implications are life-changing. Most people hit invisible walls in their careers, relationships, and dreams because the mental governor engages. Fear of rejection stops them from speaking. Fear of failure stops them from trying. Fear of discomfort stops them from changing. The result? A life lived at 40% capacity. But if you live by Goggins' system, everything shifts. Imagine a hard conversation you've been avoiding. Your mind says, "Don't do it. It will be awkward. Wait for the perfect time." That is the governor. If you lean into that discomfort, calmly, deliberately, you collect evidence. I can handle this. Do this once, then again, and soon the governor loses its grip on your life. Here's the deeper layer. Suffering, when faced consciously, is a form of inner training. Not mystical, not religious, but in the sense that it stretches the self. Every time you override the governor, you strip away a layer of the smaller self. The one that clings to comfort. The one that fears judgment. What emerges isn't a harder shell, but a freer core. True resilience isn't about becoming numb. It's about capacity. The capacity to hold discomfort without breaking. To witness fear and not obey it. To feel pain and still choose to move forward. Now the system comes into focus. Pain is the signal. The governor is the survival filter. Deliberate discomfort breaks its control. Reflection transforms effort into identity. Identity compounds into freedom. This is how unbreakable people are built. And the final insight is this. Freedom isn't the absence of pain. It's mastery over your response to it. When pain no longer dictates your choices, you become untouchable. Not because life stops hurting, but because hurt can no longer own your destiny. Most people wait for strength to appear. Goggins shows that strength is built the moment you stop running from discomfort. Right now, write down the one thing you've been avoiding because it scares you, and commit to facing it today, no matter how small the step. That sentence is your first callus. Comment with the fear you're choosing to face. Like this video and subscribe to Beyond the Books for more turning points like this. This is where you stop watching and start becoming unbreakable.